Morning all, how are we doing? I got a negative COVID test this morning. Woohoo! That was really quick. I think I may have had COVID for many days before I actually got my positive result because it's a bit quick. I only got a positive test on Sunday and it's Tuesday and I've got a negative test. So I reckon I was probably positive on Thursday or Friday or something last week, which is quite worrying for the people that go to my spin class with me because I've been to 2 spin classes when I was positive. So hopefully the entire spin class has gone down with COVID, but we'll see. Anyway, so that was a complete waste of time. Completely no symptoms and yeah. Anyway, morning Andy, morning Peter. US dollar yen's hit ADR today. Really volatile yen. Really volatile US dollar yen in Asia. We had really big move down, big move up, big move down. So yeah, lots and lots of volatility. The Bank of Japan, morning Diamond. The Bank of Japan released their operations or their plans really for moving forward. Morning Evil with their bank policies. The news basically is just announcing what they're going to be doing. So that came out this morning at about 4 o'clock ish this morning, UK time. So we had a bit of volatility. Obviously they're trying to dig themselves out of this hole, and looks at the moment like it's pretty successful. So we'll see what happens. But looking at US dollar yen, the move yesterday, that 275 ADR, whatever we got to yesterday, I'm just about to get stopped out my DAX, unfortunately. It's annoying. Should have taken that off the board this morning. I almost stopped out on it. Break even. Blech. Pain in the arse. Never mind. So we obviously had that big move yesterday. So sticking a fib on that. We came down, tested the 61.8, came down, tested the 61.8 again. So potentially we're bouncing at the minute, but market structure is still pretty good. We've got a lower high, we've got a lower low. So we're looking for some kind of lower high in here at some point today. That could be it at some point this morning, and then a move down. If that happens, it's looking pretty positive, isn't it, for these yens? So if you're looking at all the other yens, they had fairly decent moves. We've got the reversal out on the Aussie yen, CAD yen. So we're just retesting yesterday's moves at the minute. And we've had a bearish Asian session. So it's looking positive. But we'll see. We've still got to get these breaks. You see we're still bouncing off support. There's still buyers coming in at the moment. Eventually these buyers are going to run out, and we are just going to crack these support levels, these accumulations, and go. So, morning, Aseni. So I took a couple of trades this morning on DAX, but didn't manage to get anything out of it. I was at 0.8% playing the gap fill, but we've pushed back up again, so I've just gone broke even on those. I'm really tempted to take another short. I might put a sell stop under the last candle there and see where this candle goes. We've got 4 minutes to the open. I like this little gap fill because it's only a small one. The smaller ones tend to get filled quicker, I find. When you look back, the smaller ones tend to get filled fairly fast in the session. Quite often at the open, but you quite often get whipsaw at the open, which is a bit dangerous trying to grab them, but we'll see. What I might do is go with one there and one there. Buy stop. No, cancel that one off. Sorry, sell stop. So if we get a rush down at the open, that will get me out of those. We'll see. So yeah, yen's all looking good. We've got potential reversal patterns and double bottoms forming, but the open's going to be key today for these yens. So that's the only one we've got that hit ADR. Everything else is not hit ADR yet, but a lot of these yens are close to hitting their ADRs. So I suspect we'll get some ADR hits on these today. But obviously the ADR hits should be in the direction we're looking for them to go, which is down. Pound odd, I know, is the other one that everyone's in, or people are in. We have pushed down at the end of the Asian session, made new lows in the Asian session, which is where we are at the moment. So ideally this morning, stop hunt low, so a little bit of a pullback up into there, come down, stop hunt low, the Asian session lows, and maybe go from there. But we have got yesterday's low, obviously, to look at as well for potential liquidity run. At some point, they've got to do a final run. They always do a final run. That could well be it. We did make a new high off the back of that one. And obviously that one there as well, we made a new high off of that as well. So we are starting to put new highs in. We haven't during Asia. But obviously the Asian session is usually an accumulation session. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with this one so far. So we pushed up, made a new high, liquidity's there, we've just come down, we've grabbed that liquidity. It's looking more bullish, much more bullish, but still not going anywhere. We've got no real strength coming through at the moment on the pound, so still sitting there on that one. We'll have a look at all the other FX pairs, all the RSI extensions, which have all virtually disappeared now, obviously because of those yen moves. There's nothing on the Owlies, so we'll have a look at those in a little bit. But looking at the DAX, so at the moment, yesterday we tapped out of those highs. We managed to close inside the highs. We had a lovely run down yesterday, milked that a lot, and then we pushed up towards end of day. We've gapped up this morning and come down. We haven't filled the gap yet. And we look like we're just sort of retesting the highs at the minute. But yeah, so again, we're still inside this range at the moment. Let me just open a blank chart so we can actually see it a little clearer. So we're still inside this range here. This control candle really I see as being the current area we're not interested in cracking out of. And obviously target is this gap. There. So still looking for this gap fill. And today looking for pull back inside this range. If we don't pull back inside this range and we go higher today, difficult to tell where we're going. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll have a look at the other indices in a sec. Let's just see where we're going at the open. Going self-stop under the last. So I'm basically looking for, at the open, a little push high and then drop to come down and get this sorted. And then obviously see where we go from there. Okay, double bottomed there. Okay, there we go. First order's in. I took a couple of extra trades as well in my Forex funds account yesterday, just at the end of the day. So got myself up to 3.6. So I'm $1,100 above target now on that. I've still got trade for 2 days, so I've got a nice buffer. Be hard to lose $1,100 in 2 days. In fact, I'm not going to. I've traded once already this morning, so I've put a trade in this morning, which is closed at break even. So that's today's trading done really on it. Just need to trade tomorrow, and that's in the bag. Then I've got to build a buffer. So fairly decent opening ranges going in. Not too bad on the DAX. Let's have a quick look at what we're doing with the NAS this morning. NAS is coming down nicely. S&P as well. Oh, I think it'd be pretty easy. You're not trying hard enough. You know, you get a bonus when you pass with my Forex funds. They give you 4% of your profit in the evaluation phase 2 and 2% of your profit in evaluation phase 1, apparently, which is lovely, but not a lot of money, obviously. So that's 3,600 times 4%. Whoop. Oh, come on, calculator. What's wrong with you? Times 4%. 144 quid, dollars extra. So that's right. And I did, what did I do in evaluation phase 1? I did 4,367 on a 4,000 target. 2%. So I got 87. So I get about $250 on top of the $399 or whatever the evaluation fee was. So I get about $600 back just for passing the evaluation, which is nice. But I think that gets put into your live trading account. So of course, what you've got to do is hold your live trading account, get to a profit target so you can withdraw. So you don't get that money back unless you actually do well in your live. I think, anyway, I don't know. I'll find out when I... Okay, so just into profit now on first one. 5-minute candles in, nice bearish engulfing. So there's our initial opening ranges. Nice and tight on both of those this morning. So opening range breakout to the lows I'm looking for. Second position on the low break of that candle. Third position on the low break of that candle. And then I'll take the lot off down there on the gap fill. Well, see what happens if we get down there. Obviously, if it slams through that gap fill, I might hold some, but got to get there first. So it was virtually a double top on the M15 this morning. Okay, second short in. Really wish I'd have taken that 0.8 down there, down here. Wasn't quite expecting that pullback. I saw the pullback coming in, which is why I moved to break even. But I was expecting them to push back down out of that pullback, and they didn't. They just came up and retested the highs. So could have taken 0.8 off, got in again up here and added to it, but And then if it had gone down there, I'd have been annoyed anyway. So you can't win, can you? But again, if you move stops to break even, that's what you get. Break even. So first target today is here, obviously, for the gap fill. And then New York session low and daily low. I'm quite annoyed we haven't come up and retested the highs, actually. It would be nice to come up and retest those highs because we still potentially have got a retest of the highs today, which would be annoying. But we'll see. Okay, Nasdaq's just made new lows, which is good. If we can get a nice bearish engulfing close on this, we've got a minute left. But the rub is sometimes when you don't move stops to break even, it runs against you and you either take a loss or go into big drawdown adventures. Yes. Yeah, there's no, I mean, it's difficult. Break even stops. Break even stops I like when I've got lots of positions on, 3 positions on, ideally. And we've moved a decent amount. I like break even stops when we get something like that. Yeah. Then I move to break even because I like my break evens to be ideally out of reach of the 50% pullback. That's ideal. I'm just going to move my TP on the first position up, and I'll take second off. Shall I take second off there? Don't know. Might leave that on actually. Okay, Dow's just coming down to test the lows. Just coming into this accumulation now on the Dow. So we're running into an area of balance. We've been happily traded yesterday towards middle of the session. So there's buyers and sellers sitting in this zone at the minute. You can hear my dog in the background. Delivery driver. It's good having an alarm clock for delivery drivers. We always know they've arrived before they even get to the door. If you need a good doorbell, get a cockapoo. Quite an expensive doorbell, but you know, and you have to look after it for 15 years, and it'll probably cost you a fair few grand. So probably just better get a Ring doorbell. It's much easier. Okay, we're just pulling back at the moment. I have to be quicker than this today, I think. Might be on the wrong side of this. Be surprised if we don't get this done. This level here. Potentially might get a bounce off as well, but we'll see. Hopefully that's just a pullback, gathering some more orders there. Morning, Stevie. Got 17 minutes left on this candle, so we are just putting an inside bar. It is an outside bar, which is obviously the entire length of the bar engulfing the previous candle, but it's an inside bar close. So signs of strength, but sellers stepping in. See if we can push back down now out of that candle. There's a pullback and drop back down and get this fill. We had a lovely long trend today yesterday. So rode this all the way down yesterday very nicely. So we may not get a nice trend this morning. Quite often we get rotation days after trend days. Can't see anything else coming out the gates particularly quick apart from the pound US dollar dropping. The US dollar doesn't seem to be massively strong everywhere else, but the pound is potentially looking a little weak this morning. Just tapped into these lows again. Yeah, pound New Zealand's coming down. Weak pound this morning, guys. Again. So testing yesterday's low. See if we get a double bottom. Again, no news, it's just a weak pound again. News-wise today, we've got jolts this afternoon. And that's pretty much it. So that's 3 o'clock, half an hour after the market opens. We've got jolts, and then we've got consumer confidence at the same time. And then we've got Zerbrugg speaking on the Swiss franc at 5:30, a bit later on in the day. Unlikely that will do anything, but you never know. They could say something that will shake the market up. from the Swiss banking perspective. But that's all we've got really this afternoon. So there's no news. It's just literally normal price action all day until 3 o'clock. And we'll see if Jolts shakes the market up. It's all about jobs this week. We've got non-farm employment change tomorrow and then non-farm payroll Friday. We've got PCE as well on Thursday for the US dollar. Yeah, we got the Met issuing fixed penalties today for partying during COVID. Will Boris get one? It'd be interesting to see who gets those. But it's a drop in the ocean for them, isn't it? But there's up to a 10,000. So the people that organise the parties get up to a £10,000 fine, which is a fair old whack, isn't it? But if you are organising a party on behalf of work, the government, who pays the bill? Who pays the fine? It's a difficult one, isn't it? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. More Partygate. I doubt that will shake up the pound, though. We're holding these lows at the minute. Say holding, I mean, we need some bullish price action off of it, really, to confirm that any kind of bounce there, but it's not looking great on the pound. The market's fairly in sync this morning. The S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow, all very, very synchronized for a change, unlike yesterday with the Nasdaq flying off through the roof and everything else sitting there silently. More to do with just how embarrassing it will be for the government. Yeah, I know. It is embarrassing. It's just, setting a load of rules and then completely doing the opposite to the rules is just unbelievable, especially for those that lost people during COVID and weren't allowed to go to funerals, weren't allowed to do anything, weren't allowed to see people in hospital. That lot sitting there drinking wine, partying and doing karaoke. Not really on, is it? Guy Fawkes had the right idea, yeah. Yeah, well, the terrorists have tried to blow up Parliament, but that didn't work either. Getting stopped out on this by those things. It's looking a little bit bullish everywhere at the minute. I'm going to bring all stops down and get out of the lot. I don't want to be in any of it. Got it wrong. 1% loss. Should have been a 1.6% gain this morning. I've given that whole lot back. That's ridiculous. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm not in tune with this morning. Should have just banked. Should have banked that 0.8 there. Should have banked that 0.8 there. Got to be in and out a lot quicker this morning. It's going to be a range day. By the looks of things. In one candle, out the next. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at where everything might be going today. So S&P, obviously, we're off at new highs. We are coming back up into daily potential daily resistance now on the S&P. Nasdaq, same thing. We're just coming up into potential daily resistance. So we are approaching areas where we would expect to see us dropping. Obviously, we've been pushing for a long time on these indices now. Dow, again, coming up into this support resistance area here. So this has been support and resistance multiple times. And we're hitting that again now. And DAX, we're kind of out in the clouds at the minute, so the DAX hasn't got plenty of room to go. All the other indices are kind of butting into potential resistance, but the DAX is not. So we'll see where these go this morning, whether we want to go high or not. But they're certainly looking bullish at the minute. Can't believe that didn't get that fill. So close to it. 13 points away from a gap fill, and then it just decides to go off in the other direction. So got new highs across all indices. S&P's made new highs. NAS is testing new highs now as well. Pound is screaming up. Complete reversal on the pound. Pound odd. So we literally, pound odd, we've just taken out yesterday's low. And we're off. So market's all bullish. Japanese Finance Minister Suzuki will closely watch market moves to avoid negative yen weakness. Negative yen weakness. What does that mean? Positive? No idea. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Negative yen weakness. That's yen strength. So he wants to avoid yen strength. Is that what they're saying? Talk about confusing. So Nasdaq hasn't made new highs. S&P has. Dow has. And obviously DAX has. Long way to go on GA, yeah. So we're just going to watch price action up here. We got the opening range break to the highs. I can't believe they're not going to do this. I really can't believe they're not going to do that after getting that close to it. But let's see. Pound US dollar's just retested the highs and now he's coming back down again. This bit of an odd open this morning. And he moves that are detrimental to Japanese economy. Is that what you read out of that? Closely watch market moves to avoid negative yen weakness. Yeah, I would interpret as yen weakness, which is negative. Should strengthen the yen. That's, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm expecting, but that statement just kind of it's a double negative, isn't it? What they should be saying is we're going to closely watch the market moves to avoid yen weakness. Take that word negative out. Surely it will closely watch the market to avoid yen weakness. Or to avoid a negative yen. Not to avoid negative yen weakness. That doesn't make sense, does it? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, yen strength is what we're after. Hopefully that's what he wants as well. We're not getting it this morning. We got negative yen, yen weakness this morning so far. But obviously we got loads of room. ADR high hit today is no problem at all. If it hits ADR high and comes off the highs, that's fine as long as it doesn't go up and break the highs. Gold's coming down. Oil's going up. Nasdaq's retesting these highs again. So we have made new highs on the Nasdaq now. And we're testing these highs on the other indices. It ain't good English. Nah, ain't good English. God, my auntie used to tell me off for saying ain't. I used to talk about my mum. I used to say, she did this. She'd say, who's she? The cat's mother? God, things our parents used to say to us. We're showing signs of weakness at the highs here. I'm really tempted to take a little short up here. Just going to see if we can get gathered into a short. We're showing weakness, a lot of absorption across all the indices at the highs. Still got a minute left on these candles, but it's looking like we might get some sellers stepping in as soon as these candles close. This is the half-hour candle close as well, 15-minute candle close, 30-minute candle close. So we'll have a lot of people watching the 15 and 30-minute time frames looking for price action, and they won't be getting their bullish engulfings. And they'll be seeing indecision after a bullish engulfing, which is a bearish price action pattern as well. So we may see some sellers start to step in. Good strong. Yesterday's low sweep, lovely 3-bar reversal alert on pound odd. Is what's that level? Yeah, so we still haven't got to that level that we drew in yesterday. This point of no return, we didn't get there yesterday. We still haven't got there today. We have taken out the lows, but we are certainly stalling down here at the minute. We need an update basically, just to give the market a bit of confidence, and then we should get a follow through. But just getting there. Not very convincing. For a short at the minute. FTSE is the only index that hasn't made new highs yet. All the others have made new highs, but are all stalling up here. And the FTSE is still trying to push higher a little bit. Need some news. Need somebody to say something. Russia's just destroyed a major fuel depot in Ukraine's Rivne region, wherever that is. We've got peace talks going on today in Turkey as well. So there is possible news to come out of that. That started, yes, just about 8:30ish. They started peace talks just now. So however long that lasts, we will get some news coming out of those peace talks, whether it's positive or negative. If it comes out as negative, obviously we'll get a decent crash in the market. Depends how long that meeting's going to last, though. Can't imagine it's going to be a short one. So at some point this morning, we'll probably see some red news come out about the outcome of that meeting, whether it be positive or negative. Positive news, obviously, will be good, bullish for the markets. Negative news will be bearish. Okay, one short. Big level on S&P, 45.95. Yeah. We haven't got that yet, but I mean, this whole area here, is where we have stalled multiple times. So somewhere around here, it's going to be around about here. I would expect to see some bearish price action coming in on the S&P, but obviously the other indices need to confirm it as well. So we've started a down move, but it's not very convincing, is it? Good range for a bit in here. As long as we range down to the gap fill, I don't mind. The FTSE is looking a little bit more bearish now as well. Hasn't made new highs though, so a little bit different to the other indices at the minute. Nice big bear candle, please. So watching this zone basically, market structure at the open is bullish. So if we're going to continue bullish, we should see the 20 and this area acting as support for longs. those sessions. It's going to be really slow and sluggish today. Just going to put another sell stop under those lows. Just going to watch this for a pullback. Got some wicks coming in at the minute. Bulls are stepping in. ECB forecasting inflation stabilizing around 2% in 2024. I think you'll be lucky. US dollar pairs has just had a little bit of a spike down. Bit of strength coming through on the US. Okay, so we are bearish. Another new low gone in, second position. What did I just lose on that first trade? 340. So I'm just watching my other account. I don't want to take it below my evaluation threshold. I'm back in profit by 340. I just took 340 loss on that last trade. I don't know if the break even was tapping on the 20 here. If I move it to break even, I'm going to get stopped out. What I want to see is a little bit of a pullback and then a continuation bearish engulfing off the back of that pullback. Just to confirm we're sort of next leg downs rather than next legs up. I just don't want to see any bull candles really, ideally. Wi-Fi, good. Is that Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi? Obviously it's Wi-Fi. Well, I presume it's Wi-Fi. I'm talking about someone in chat in case you think I'm going mad and talking about Wi-Fi. Someone in the chat with the name Wi-Fi. Feels like the calm before the storm, doesn't it? S&P, Dow are both pulling off the 20, trying to at the minute. Nice crack down below the 61.8 retracement. See if we can get this level held and broken down here. But if we get a big bullish candle off the back of this, I should probably escape this position. FTSE's trying to come down quite nicely as well. It's a shame I haven't got the FTSE on this platform because the FTSE, the Dow and the DAX move quite similarly. So you can use all three of them sort of together as a good indication of whether it's bullish or bearish. They just made new lows, new 5-minute lows on the FTSE. Although the DAX is looking the most bearish out of the lot at the minute, thankfully. Still got lots of wicks showing. Buyers stepping in this area. Wanting to go high at the minute. $12K point high, low, and here we sit in the middle of the opening range. 12,000 point high, low. Yeah. Not really interested in a direction this morning by the looks of things. None of the indices are. Hopefully that's good because the DAX can just grind down this morning, get that gap fill done, and then decide. But I'm still bearish. I can't help but be bearish on this gap fill on the DAX. Oh, wrong one. Oh no, it was the right one. This gap fill at 14,000 basically. Still think we're going to do that. It's really struggling this morning. I'm quite tempted to take this 0.7 off and run away with it in a minute because it's we're going to get a little pullback on this in a minute, I think. But all the time we're getting bear candles. I'll keep holding it. Yeah, don't have FTSE. For some reason, Forex don't do FTSE. I've got it on my other platform, so I'm watching it on my other account, but it's weird they don't have the FTSE. I don't know why. Probably exchange fees. I don't know. Forex are big enough to be able to not care about exchange fees, but I don't know. Just don't seem to have it. Right. This is rounding on the Dow at the minute. DAX is doing okay. There we go. It'll pop down on the Dow. That's nice. Nasdaq's popped down as well. New lows. Okay, closing out 0.7 on the DAX. Most profitable position taken off. I've got a tiny stop on this now in case of a pullback. In fact, what I might do is I'm going to move that to break even. I'll probably get stopped out on this unless we just come down straight away and just get this fill done. I'll probably get stopped out in that because I'm just anticipating a pullback, and I'm cautious of this being a pullback bull leg. So I'd rather get stopped out on that, let it pull back and show me it's bearish to get in again for the gap fill than risk getting stopped out on everything, basically. If it continues just to grind and do that, that's brilliant. But if you look at this on a higher time frame, like on the M30, oh, that's the wrong chart. We've got a lovely bearish engulfing forming. We got 10 minutes until this candle closes. So what we would typically see off the back of a bearish engulfing is a pullback and drop as people take profit on that move and then add sellers into the position. So I'm just, I don't really want to just chance it until this candle closes. And obviously we're going to have an hourly as well. So on the hourly, we've got a nice bear candle double top rejection at yesterday's high. So sellers will start to step in there, but we'll get a load of volatility coming in on the hour. And I'd like it to be obviously just whacking straight down and then they can do what they like after that. But equally, if it pops back up again, there's no point in taking a loss on it. I'll just break even and get in again up here. M15 as well. If we pull down, pull down and take this low out, obviously that's a nice 3-bar reversal, which typically you'll get a pullback on before it drops as well. So I'm expecting a pullback. But we'll see. Nasdaq's still pushing down nicely. I'd just like for this trade to play out either way, and then we'll have a look at the FX pairs, see what they're up to. Wow, slow open. So we've got fairly decent rejection on the Dow. Nice tweezer bottoms, 2 long wicks next to each other. Looks like a few people just tried to get in long there and was slammed. So we are still seeing the bears stepping in. Nasdaq's coming down nicely as well. So there's the S&P. All these, the NAS and the S&P, kind of sitting all around the 20 moving averages, a little bit similar to the DAX at the minute. So we are in a real good buying spot. A lot of people trading the moving averages will be trying to buy up here. But those looking for the gap fill will be pushing. Come on. I'm tempted to take another one here. We're just about to break the opening range low for the second time. It's just we haven't had a pullback on this. This isn't big enough pullback, but I'm tempted to take another one here, but it's not a massive amount of point for 28 pips. So just let that one play out. Right, I'll monitor that one on the other chart. So looking for a break of this low, basically. In fact, what I might do, I might extend target on this, just in case we get a pop. Because if we get a pop out these lows here, if we reject at these lows and see some absorption coming in down here, if and when we crack that, we'll probably get a pop, which will take us out of these lows and fill that gap. But equally, we could just see all of these buy orders down here just getting sucked up and real acceleration on it. So if that does happen, might as well take advantage of it. But I'll monitor it when it gets to those lows. Right, let's have a look at the FX. Let's see where we are. So, ADRs obviously we've had a look at. Only US dollar yen at the moment. Hit ADR, and we've had a decent. We've had a decent push off of ADR. Not quite sure which one hit first actually. Where did we open there? We are 119. So low to high is 90. So it's an ADR low hit. So we bounced off of ADR, got a reversal alert, retested. We're trying to push up, but obviously everything is pushing down on that at the moment. All the other yens are also looking heavy in London. So we had a little bit of a pullback at the end of Asia, and we're starting to push down at the moment. So fairly decent price action on the yen coming in again. It's not dramatic, this price action, but it is starting to show itself as fairly strong. So it's looking promising today. But again, as I said earlier, with all these, we need to get a crack below the accumulations. So every time we've had either a daily accumulation or part of a daily accumulation, we're bouncing off of these accumulation supports and just pushing up for new legs. So we've had a reverse alert, we've had the retest, we need to crack these accumulations. As soon as we get these broken, they will act as resistance potentially, and then we'll get that continuation move. So today, again, critical day. We haven't got any news until this afternoon, which could potentially affect the yen. Obviously, that's US dollar news, but they will wait for US dollar news and then they will start to execute their orders. So if they're sitting on a load of orders ready to execute on the yen pair, we'll see that happen probably this afternoon in the New York session. But if we can get a good grind down towards it today, that'd be good in London. Hourlies, we got nothing. So all these pushes that we've had have all undone themselves over the last sort of day. We're just pushing down, trying to put in a new low. We've just double bottomed there. We've got 2.5 minutes left on this candle. We are still looking bearish, but I hate it. I hate it when we grind bearish like this, because so often you'll see this grinding, stop, and then you get a whacking great bull candle, profit take move, and it all gets undone very, very fast. I'm tempted to take this off the table. Don't like the look of that. Got $260 profit on my other account as well. Yeah, I'm closing it. Closing out 0.3. I can add it back on. I just don't like this price action this morning. So I was down 1% on the initial move of the day, and I've made 1% on the retracement. So I'm back to break even on the day so far. I just don't like this. That it's we're really it's really, we've had this big bull move and we're slow grinding down here, and every single one of these red candles is getting ever so slightly more difficult to put in and smaller, and now we're looking bullish off of a double bottom and we haven't cracked that low. So I think we're probably going to get a pullback. So I'm going to watch for a pullback on this move and see if I can get into a pullback on it for another short if we show signs of bearishness to come down and fill that gap. But the other indices are all looking very, very similar. The Dow is starting to roll over long. Look. So bulls are starting to enter. So take it off. We can always add it back on again, but better to bank it than to break even on it. S&P, DAX, Dow, Nasdaq, everything is all just starting to roll over. Wicks are always your guide. Yeah, long wick candles, signs of rejection. If we get pushed down and back up again, push down and back up again, push down and back up again. Basically, buyers are just stepping in every time the sellers enter the market and going, nope, not going any lower. So there's your signs to start getting out of positions. Also getting into positions, yeah, price action. Hourlies, we've got nothing. ADRs, nothing. We've got these weeklies, obviously, which all hit yesterday. They're all the yens, so we know what to do with all the yens. We're trying to get in short. Aussie New Zealand's 4-hour extensions. US dollar's looking fairly strong at the moment as well. Aussie dollar New Zealand screaming off to the highs. So the New Zealand is a lot weaker than the Aussie at the moment. So we get even more price action moving to the upside on this. Not sure where this one's headed for. It's probably going to try and double top at the moment. Every support, that was the main support here. We didn't even stall there. We just slammed straight through it. So that's obviously rejected completely. So the next level's up here, and then after that we'll see where we go. But big strong push, very nice and bullish. Obviously completely opposite to what the COT report has been saying. COT report has been long New Zealand, short Aussie. You know, this, I mean, at the moment you cannot take market sentiment, institutional market sentiment into account, because their positioning is for different reasons at the minute, and it's just not working. So Aussie New Zealand, nice short opportunity. We're extended on the daily, we're extended on the 4-hourly. Opportunity for shorts at some point, but you need to wait for signs of bearishness, and we're not really getting much on this. So not quite extended enough. I'd like to see these more extended again on the 4-hour, where we were basically up here. We got the pullback, and we're putting the next leg in. So this is first, second, third leg going in now. So this is quite possibly the last leg. Llewellyn, does anybody have that gap on the DAX? If you don't have the gap on the DAX, it'll be because you're seeing pre-market data. So you'll have a broker. So this is my other platform. So you see on this platform, my open is at 1 a.m. And on this platform, my open is at 9 a.m. So this is the cash index. This is the Frankfurt exchange. The Frankfurt exchange opens at 7 a.m. UK time, and the market starts trading at 8 a.m. UK time. If you're not seeing this gap, it's because your broker is showing you all of this pre-market data, which is an estimation of where we're going to open. So this is not real trading. This is just broker data, broker plot, basically. It's just not real. It's to allow you to trade it 24/7, or 24/5 rather, but it's not real. So what you do is, if you've got a broker that shows you all this information from midnight or 1 a.m. or wherever, You just basically draw yourself a line at 7 a.m., which would be 9 there. Yep. And you draw yourself a horizontal line from where we closed yesterday, which is there. And wherever we opened at 7 a.m. and we closed yesterday, that is your gap. Yeah, so if you've got this data, just ignore that. That's the gap. So some brokers show it, some brokers don't. That's why. So Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Shorts extended. Going to come down at some point, but until we get this yen strength coming through, we're not sure what's. I mean, we're still not sure what's going to happen with these yens and with the Aussies. The Aussies are incredibly strong at the moment. There's a lot of commodity price going on, a lot of commodity purchasing going on. They're big, obviously exporters of minerals, gold, etc. Mined in Australia. So they're doing well, but weakness will probably start to show at some point. Money's just flowing there at the moment. I don't see it really stopping, to be honest, until this conflict is starting to finish. No idea. This could go into World War III and go on for years, couldn't it? We've got no idea what's going to happen with it. So it's very difficult to tell. But Aussie dollar is obviously way stronger than the New Zealand dollar at the moment. Has been for a while, as you can see, going back to just before Christmas basically. The Aussie dollar took the upper hand on the New Zealand dollar. It hasn't stopped since. So all the time we're getting money flowing into the Australasian pairs, the Aussie dollar, it looks like it's going to be the one in control. There's nothing really fundamentally that's going to shift to change that anyway. So yeah, so basically the safe haven, the yen safe haven is not the yen safe haven at the moment because of the crisis they've got themselves into. So they're not putting money in the yen. There's lots and lots of manipulation going on with all currencies, mainly with the euro at the moment, but also with the yen. So investors are just wary at the moment of the yen. It will change. They will change that. They have to. So it's just a case of waiting and seeing, and we're seeing it start to sort of shift now, aren't we, on these yens? But apart from that, really, we've got a couple of pounds and New Zealand dollar CAD, but the rest of it's all yen still. So our CAD yen extension is starting again. We need to break down through the accumulation. We've got hardly anywhere to stop, really. We've got a couple of down candles and a couple of down pullbacks, but apart from that, all the way down. And I think, you know, the speed of movement yesterday on these yens, we had a massive push yesterday on all these yens. Very, very, very quick out the gates. Asia, London, shot through the roof. And then it undid the entire lot straight away. So this was kind of like it looks like the last push before the collapse. And the collapse could be very quick. So nicely extended still just about on the CAD yen. Swiss yen, same thing. We've started to come down. We are showing signs of next leg. So we've got the first leg down, pull back, second leg starting. We need to start breaking these lows. We need to start breaking these accumulations. Reversal alerts on the hourlies and the 4 hourlies. Hourlies we've not quite got yet either. On the Swiss yen, we've got it on the CAD yen. Yeah, CAD yen, we got it yesterday. Odd yen we did as well. Euro we haven't. Pound we have. New Zealand we have. And obviously US dollar yen at the moment. The US dollar's been fairly strong, so not got one on there. So yeah, all of these looking good still, but you know, it's impossible to tell when this is going to start. Every time we seem to get some kind of weakness coming through, we get a stupid move to the upside. So we'll have to see. Euro yen, again, good opportunity for shorts on the euro, especially. Euro's very weak, can continue to be very weak. So this one I would say, yeah, probably the most favourite short against the yen. But again, Europe can come out and say something that is going to strengthen themselves up. We're seeing a fairly strong euro at the minute. But It's unlikely that's going to last. Very unlikely. It's just pullbacks on the other currencies really is all we're seeing here. Pound odd, we know about. We've done a lovely liquidity run this morning off of that. We've got this low here being the most recent, well, not the most recent, the furthest and deepest daily candle from quite a way back. That's our kind of last chance saloon really. So hopefully we're just going to take that out and then start to pull back. We need to be wary of obviously strong support resistance, which is going to be around there. And obviously 24 is coming down like 45 degrees. So it's going to be a tough slug all the way back up. We're going to need some yen strength, which should give us some Aussie weakness, coupled with some bit of pound strength coming through, and this thing will fly. But it's all got to, stars have all got to align with a lot of these pairs at the moment. Very, very strong CAD at the minute as well. That's not helping this one, pound CAD. Again, this all started off the war and we haven't recovered. So still very extended. Pound, really not sure on bias on it at the minute. So difficult to tell whether or not we should really be going for longs on these. If you're in them, obviously goal is to get out of them and wait until the market sort of stabilizes and we get some idea of directional bias on these things. FTSE's just made new highs. Everything else is having a little bit of a pullback at the moment. It all looks very trendy to me. We'll have a look at those in a sec. New Zealand dollar CAD. Again, very nice extended. New Zealand dollar's weak. Canadian dollar's strong. We are just coming down to a lovely support area as well on this one. So we're tapping into the 72. But we're not really tapping into the 72 off of a strong trend. We've had a spike up and since then we've just done nothing but really chop about. So we're coming back into this area of balance at the moment where we were happy to trade for a few weeks. We came back and retested that area and tried to bounce off of it. And again, we're coming back. So we're probably going to get a bounce here, but I'm not convinced we're going to get a bounce higher necessarily. We're probably going to get a bounce and a continuation drop, I think, on this one. So it's a long, but it's not a very interesting long. You want to be in and out as fast as you can on it, really. I think with all of these H4 extensions, getting in on M5 at the moment is good and trying to get out fast, just trying to scalp these things when you know you've got a high probability of some short-term strength because of the extension of the move. There's this short-term strength that we keep getting here and here and here where you can make a quick buck, but we're not getting these profit take moves that we're used to. So it's kind of like when you see something really extended down there, look for M5 reversals and scalp 2, 3, 4 candles, 5 candles out of it when you get a reversal alert, and try and that's really all you can really try and do, I think, at the moment until we get some normalization. US dollar yen, H4, obviously nicely extended still. We've come down from the ridiculous levels we were at. But we are still, as I say, with all of these, looking for lows to be broken. And we just about broke the lows there by literally a pip or two. So new break, reversal alert, and a retest drop. So we, again, showing signs of weakness, but we've shown signs of weakness many times before. But this is the strongest volume we've had coming in. If you look at the moves, it's all been very, very nice little pullback, very nice little pullback, little pullback, little pullback. And then we've had this whacking great spike, whacking great pullback. So the volatility and the volume that came into the yen yesterday was way above norm. So this, I think, is probably the start of the next leg, whether it be up or down. So all these indices, obviously starting to roll over. So we've got lower high going in at the moment, but we are obviously in line with trend on the Dow. Nasdaq, we're doing the same thing. We've got a lower high going in. We're just starting to push down, and the S&P as well. So we're starting, but we are all being supported on this 20. So very difficult to read which way we're going with this today. I don't really want to trade this at the minute. It's very hard to tell what direction we're going in. I still think a short is a good idea on the DAX, but we haven't even had a 38 retracement yet. So, again, very hard to decide where to go with this one today. Seems like money's just moved from yen to odd, yeah. So that's really it on the FX side of things. It's all a bit calm before stormy. It's non-farm payroll week, so we quite often do get a either a big strong movie a couple of days before non-farm, or we get that accumulation week. At the moment, it's difficult to tell what it's going to be, but we certainly had the volatility coming in yesterday. Across everything, we had lots of ADRs lit up all over the place, but today very quiet. So hopefully we're just going to get these continuation moves on yesterday's price action. At the moment it looks like it wants to, but it's just the market's just sluggish today, very sluggish. So it's just a case of waiting and seeing where we're going, and obviously looking for any possible entries on low time frames. Say nothing at all. Euro pound is the closest thing at the minute on the hourlies. Lovely double top just gone in on euro pound. Not really there yet, but nice double top. Good looking potential short opportunity there. For lower time frames, so M5 entry, and stop above the highs and look for shorts. There's nothing else lit up at the minute. So Euro New Zealand as well is the other thing that potentially, yeah, nice short, nice shooting star just going in there, quite a way away. On the moving, on the reversal alert there, but big old targets to aim for down here as well. We're going to come back and retest this one definitely, potentially down there, but that's 125 ADR, so not sure you're going to make that one today. But that's about it really. That's all I've got for you today. So I'm break even. Woohoo! Haven't lost anything today, but haven't made anything, and I don't really know what direction we're going in with this at the minute. So I'm tempted to get a short in. It's getting less. Look at these wicks. It's just getting less enticing to try and short this at the moment, for two reasons. First of all, it's not looking very bearish, and secondly, getting in if we're going for the gap fill is not a very good risk reward. That's really all I would look for potentially before we get a bounce. So to get in there with a decent stop that isn't going to get stopped out is not really going to give you much in return, probably 0.2, 0.3%. So I'm not even sure it's worth it, to be honest, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch price action and see if we get any kind of bearish price action on the other indices, and see if we get a decent reaction somewhere around this high again, or around 61.8 or 50. 38, I think, if we get a bearish engulfing there, it's a bit too close. If we get up to here, I'd be more inclined to take that trade because you've got much more reward on it, but it depends what the price action does around here. So really that's my only other interest this afternoon. This morning this could just trend today, but it's so slow. As you can see, we're not going anywhere. We're nearly an hour and a half into the session, and we're basically where Frankfurt opened. We're pretty much there. So there's your open. There's the end of the first 5 minutes. We haven't gone anywhere today. We've chopped, unfortunately. So not a nice market today. The other thing I'm looking at as well, potentially today on the DAX, is obviously the 30-minute gap fill. 30-minute gap fill. The previous longer-term gap fill. So we pushed up and rejected this area yesterday nicely, had a 50% retracement. We've pushed up and we've rejected the highs again today. So this could well be a nice reversal point up here for a swing. So there's potential to get in a short here with a stop above the high and hold it down to here. Very nice risk reward. So maybe half risk. So take 1/4% short, or whatever you want to, whatever your normal risk is. If you're 1% risk, then obviously take a 0.5% risk. But take a half size position and assume that we've put in the high of the day today, and we've done that kind of stop hunt, if you like, of the highs, or just retest of those highs, and the market said no, we're not interested in going higher. Long term, potentially a nice little short run. Initially, obviously down to there, and then break even on it, and then try and hold it all the way down to that big gap fill down here at the 14,000 level. Because we're not interested in going anywhere at the moment, are we, as you can see? So it's going to go one way or the other. At the moment, we've got a target that way. That way, we've got open space. So, gaps get filled. Very rare they don't. I'm surprised it's taken weeks to get that one in. But obviously, this was around conflict time, oil going crazy. This, I think, was the time when we got the reversal A-shaped recoveries on those spikes. So the market was caught out of whack. It never got down there. So I still think it's on the table, that. But right now, obviously pushing up, it's potentially, risk caught percent with a 75 point stop, and your potential reward on it is, 500 plus. So 5, 6, 7 to 1 risk reward. Nice potential short opportunity. So there's another option to do at the moment, but we'll see what happens today. It's very odd price action today. Just looks weird. It's very weird. So till I see something exciting, I'm not going to bother. I'll be back this afternoon at 12. No, I won't. I'll be back at 2:20. News-wise, obviously, be aware of 3 o'clock Jolt's job openings. That's half an hour after market open. Maybe saving them for non-farm payroll, Adrian. Yeah, maybe. It's difficult. I hate non-farm payroll week because it's so difficult to gauge direction on non-farm payroll, because they always try to trap you. They either chop you or they trap you. And then they tend to quite often just spike you out on non-farm, and then they reverse everything after they got everybody's money. So it's not usually this quiet, though. This is like we're shut. But yeah, everything else seems to be in a holding pattern at the moment. Pound odds doing well, though. But you look at things like the pound US dollar. Look, down, up, down, up. We just no idea where we're going today. The market's just not interested. So hopefully Jolts this afternoon will kick the market up a notch, and we'll get some decent movement. But I would expect we'll get a quiet open in New York as well, because they'll be holding back until that news release has come out to dump into the market. So we'll probably see one of those sort of hour and a half movements. We get moves after 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes rather than at the open, but we'll see. But yeah, so be aware of that. Obviously, that's what we've got this afternoon. I'll be back at 2:20, and we'll obviously have a look at where we've got this morning, if we've got anywhere. But yeah, keep an eye on these pounds. We are showing some nice bullish price action this morning on all the pound pairs, which is good. Based on obviously what we've seen yesterday, we're starting to build up a little bit of strength, and the euro is doing pretty well as well, which is surprising. So say it's doing well this morning. It's not doing well against the euro pound, obviously, because the pound's doing much better. But starting to have a little bit of weakness showing now. Lovely little head and shoulders forming on the euro US dollar there. has just broken the neckline. But they fell a lot of the time. Head and shoulders. Nice bearish rejection at the 38. 1.5 minutes left on that candle. Could be a good spot to get in. Okay, so I will be back 2:20. We'll see how we get on this morning. Anything you need, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there. And I will hopefully see you this afternoon. Have a good morning.